You trip and fall. Closing your eyes and bracing for impact, you expect to hit a solid wall that is directly in front of you. But you don't. Instead, you find yourself trapped in a dimension ruled only by the harsh smell of moldy carpet and grungy walls with the paper peeling off. This was a situation proposed by an anonymous 4chan user on April 21st, 2018, and it left many people intrigued. The thought of suddenly and unknowingly ending up in a completely other dimension to your own made many people curious of the consequences of said spontaneous travel. Users began to theorize and plot, coming up with solutions to a problem that didn't seem to exist. Nobody was actually being sucked into this separate reality, but for a while, people took pleasure in hypotheticals. Some users described the Backrooms as nothing more than a dingy, infinitely looping office space with no escape, a doomed limbo for those unfortunate enough to end up in it. Others described a multi-layered parallel universe, with every floor of these so-called Backrooms containing more and more dangerous inhabitants whose sole purpose was to find and, well, there's separate theories for what the creatures do as well. Supposedly some kill you, but they all have their unique quirks. But this is all conjecture. What would it really be like to get sucked into the Backrooms? For our purposes, I'm going to be basing these assumptions on the guide I've linked in the description. I recommend that you check it out. It has much more detail than what I can fit into this video. But, to put it simply, there are 8 main levels and 3 secondary levels, with each level being relatively different to its previous counterpart. We have just entered the Backrooms, and we appeared on floor 0, the topmost floor. This floor consists of moldy carpets, dingy yellow wallpaper, and a few creatures called entities. These so-called entities are beings ranging in behavioral traits, with some being helpful or passive, and others being incredibly aggressive and hard to escape. Most known documentation of the hostile entities comes from blood-written, frenzied chicken scratch found on walls or on small pieces of paper, with the original authors nowhere to be found. Documented creatures of level 0 include facelings, which on this level are always friendly. Another entity discovered on this level is 6 Arms, which is believed to be hostile, but there has only been one confirmed sighting of it. It is widely believed that you, for the most part, are pretty safe on level 0. The only thing you are going to want to worry about is food and water. If you get lucky, you may end up close to a base of the other inhabitants of the Backrooms, but due to the size of this level, you are most likely going to be completely alone for most of this journey. Water should not be too difficult to come across. Occasionally, you may find bottles of almond water scattered on the floor, but you are most likely going to need to extract water from the carpets. Drinking this water supposedly does not harm you, but the foul aroma and aftertaste is sure to leave you in disdain of this liquid. There are groups who grow and harvest mold from the wallpaper on this level, which is what I would advise you do as well. Unless you feel like eating the carpet, eating the mold growing between the wallpaper and the wall is your best and safest bet. It is all believed to be edible, aside from the disease-ridden stuff, and should keep your nutrition high enough to either come across an outpost or to find the entrance to level 1. Level 1 is called the Level of Lurking Danger, and rightfully so. There are many more entities on this level than the previous, although the appearance is relatively similar. Entities on this level include dullers, hounds, and skin stealers, all of which are believed to be harmful. On this level, it is very important to keep your sanity high, as most of the creatures feed on those with low or questionable sanity levels. The food and water situation on this level is very similar to the previous, but your key to surviving this lair is going to be avoiding the hounds. Hounds are human-like creatures that crawl on all fours and become immediately hostile towards any human that they see. Coming across a hound is going to put you in a life or death situation, so you need to think quickly. Hounds, although extremely aggressive, become temporarily intimidated by being stared down by a human. Looking a hound in its eyes for several seconds will unnerve it, and will give you a chance to run away. They are also relatively unintelligent, and will quickly lose you down too many hallways. Another threat on this level is the skin stealers. These normally docile creatures, when hungry, become extremely aggressive and will consume any living being they come across. They will then wear their flesh on top of their own as a sort of costume, and will begin to mimic the voice of the last person they slayed. On this level, if you hear cries or any human noises that sound like they are being faked, or you meet a survivor who is not very talkative or can't hold a conversation, immediately turn around and head in the other direction. This will be your best bet for survival. If absolutely necessary, it is possible to survive an encounter with one. If they are not hungry, which they usually aren't, they will be docile unless aggravated. You can mostly pass by them safely, but it is recommended to get as far away from it as you can after you get to where you need to go. Eventually, after wandering for long enough, you should come across an entrance to level 2. Level 2, as described by the wiki, consists of mainly dark, grey concrete maintenance tunnels stretching on for millions of miles. The walls are lined with pipes and occasionally ventilation ducts, which often contain a thick, viscous black fluid. Doors can sometimes be found, but most are locked or lead into dead ends. These rooms typically house shelves with random assortments of objects, occasionally computers. Level 2 is going to be a tougher challenge to survive than the previous 2 levels. Here, the hallways are narrow, preventing direct escape from any entities that one may come across. Food and water are also much more sparse here, and the entities that reside here are some of the most dangerous of any known levels of the Backrooms. Entities include smilers, clumps, hounds, death moths, bursters, skin stealers, and insanities. You need not know what these entities do, only that you must escape every single one of them as soon as they are spotted. Feel free to read about all of these entities on the wiki though. They provide more insight to this and the oncoming levels. For food and water, you're going to have to get lucky. There is no consistent source of either on this level, with the only recurrent liquid being toxic, boiling hot tar that runs through the pipes. Areas of this level can also become extremely hot, with temperatures exceeding 43 degrees Celsius and higher. It is advised to stay away from these areas of immense heat, as they can rarely teleport you to other, much more dangerous levels of the Backrooms. But if you need to pass, make it quick. Only by sheer luck and determination can you survive this floor long enough to find the entrance to Floor 3. Floor 3, called the Electrical Station, is also very dangerous. It contains a considerable amount of entities, most of which will kill you on sight. Resources are much more common on this floor though, and luxury items such as phones, granola bars, and almond water can be found here. It is also very important to keep your sanity on this level, as most of the creatures specifically target individuals with lower sanity and higher fear. Overall, I would recommend keeping your visit to this level brief. While the resources here are highly sought after and valuable, your chances of survival greatly decrease every second you spend on this level. To exit this level, you must locate an elevator on the left side of a wall. Entering the elevator will most likely take you to level 5, but can sometimes also take you to level 4. Level 4 is going to be your break from the madness of the previous levels. It is mostly devoid of all entities, with rare occurrences of dullers and hounds, but this floor is rich with resources, and fountains of almond water can be located almost everywhere throughout the floor. You will not have to worry about food or water on this floor, as bottles of water and canned provisions are not sparse. People are going to be found most frequently on this floor, due to the richness of resources and the safety of the floor. Honestly, if I was in this situation, I would permanently reside here as an outpost. I would rather live the rest of my life in the safety of this floor, with other people, than to go alone to the deeper floors in hopes of escape. However, if you so choose to continue, say goodbye to the luxuries of this floor, because it only gets harder from here. Level 5, otherwise known as the Terror Hotel, is a relatively easy floor to survive. Do not underestimate it though, as carelessness can result in a swift death or insanity. Furnished as an early 20th century hotel, there are records of 2 main areas here, the main hall and the boiler room. There are supposedly some other undocumented areas as well. Furnishing and art decor are commonplace here, but don't get too comfortable as there are still entities on this floor. Death moths reside here, which can quickly swarm and cause fatal damage to whoever they target. They are quite slow though, and are attracted to light, so as long as you stay out of light and are careful in avoiding them, it should not be too hard. Food and water shouldn't be a problem with all the provisions you took from floor 4, though if you are running low on resources, a trip back to the 4th floor would not be a bad idea. There are rumors of a dangerous creature called the Beast of floor 5 on this level, which is described as a humanoid squid wearing formal suit and tie attire. Exiting this level is easy, as you can just get back in the elevator you came in from and proceed to the next levels. Level 6 is going to be a nightmare. Widely considered by far the most dangerous level of all of the main levels of the Backrooms, few survive passing through this level. Many people who end up here by accident, either through false windows or going too far into the boiler room of level 5. This level is entirely devoid of all natural light, and a flashlight or lighter will be necessary to have a chance of surviving. You are forever alone on this level, as human contact is impossible. Luckily though, that means there are few entities as well. The main danger of this level is your sanity. You will constantly need to remind yourself of where you are and who you are, and that you are merely passing through this place to get to your next destination. Losing too much sanity on this level is very easy, and will either result in death within 48 hours of entering the room, or to you becoming an insanity, which are zombie-like creatures that are extremely dangerous and are the result of humans losing their sanity completely within the Backrooms. If you somehow manage to keep your wits on this level and wander long enough, it is reported that you will eventually just appear in level 7, with no recollection on how you got there in the first place. If you need a quick escape from this level, either due to an entity or from losing too much sanity, fall flat on the ground. You have a high chance of clipping through the ground, and you will end up in level 6.1, which is a completely safe level filled with snacks and provisions. People often go to level 6 as a more convenient way to get to level 6.1. Level 7 consists of a lifeless ocean, wherein the subject will spawn in a relatively level 0-esque room filled with only a thin layer of water. Entering one of the doors in this room will show that gravity has indeed been flipped, and upon entering the room, the subject will be turned around 90 degrees and dropped heavily into the frigid waters of the room. It is not advised to enter the water of the rooms if possible, due to risk of hypothermia and undiscovered entities. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, the thing on level 7, which is believed to have killed every other human and entity on the floor. You might want to avoid that. At this point, you might be running low on food and water. Luckily, water is in fresh supply on this level, but you're going to have to hold out until the next level or meet some traders to acquire more food. Exploration of the level is also extremely difficult, and it is only rumored that the entrance to level 8 is within a cave contained in the faraway rooms of the entrance point. There is also rumored to be a cult that lives on this floor that prays to the Thing. If you accept their offer and become one of them, they will give you unlimited food and water and will give you free shelter. However, if you decline, they will still donate you food and water and let you live with them. But if you're not careful, they will drug you in your sleep and feed you to the Thing. It is generally advised that unless you want to become a member of the cult, to steer clear of them. If you are somehow still alive at this point, and manage to locate the entrance to level 8, you are a very strong-willed and lucky individual. Your only hope on level 8 is to either clip into another random level, or to clip to the exit of the Backrooms. There is nothing here, and it is just a vast, seemingly endless cave system that houses many hostile entities. Spiders rule this land, and it is not rare to locate a queen's nest in this system. Water is everywhere, but food cannot be found on this level. Ration your supplies. My advice to survive this lair would be to avoid any and all entities you come across, and try at every opportunity to clip through a wall or floor. Floors after floor 8 are not officially documented, and as such cannot be described accurately. These floors are known as the quantum unstable floors. There are also secondary floors to the main 8. These are known as the Hub, the End, and the Hive. The End is a fake floor that makes users think they have escaped to the Backrooms. That fact is false, and in reality the subject just becomes stuck within the room until they are either warped to another regular floor, a negative floor, or an entity is summoned in the same room as the subject. This floor is relatively dangerous, and it is advised to avoid entering doors on any of the floors labeled Exit or Fire Escape. The Hive is an endless maze of caverns and caves where fleshy inanimate tentacles cover every surface, and it has been reported that this is the origin place of most of the entities. From this we can assume that the entities in the Backrooms reproduce somehow, which signals danger for all inhabitants of the dimension. Due to this fact, it is also the floor with the highest documented number of entities, making it a very dangerous floor to be on. It can be entered either from level 6 or from level 8, and can be left through a passage directly west of the entrance point. The Hub is a tunnel with doors on either side that lead to each level of the Backrooms. Currently though, you can only enter levels 1, 2, and 3 from the Hub. As far as we know, entities cannot enter the Hub, making it a place dense with people and traders. It can also easily be accessed through level 1 by following a specific set of directions that lead to a door. Opening the door will lead to the Hub, and will grant you at least some guarantee of safety in this place. This is another location I would recommend staying if you wish to wait it out in the Backrooms, rather than look for immediate escape. Food and water will be plentiful here, and it grants easy access to the other levels of the Backrooms to gain more provisions and resources. So, we know all the info on all of the levels of the Backrooms, but how would you survive? As I mentioned, I would personally reside permanently in either floor 4 or in the Hub, just due to the guarantee of safety and security you can achieve on that floor. I would not recommend going any further than floor 4, as there is really no reason to, and it would only lead to a near certain demise. Sometimes it's fun to talk about topics that aren't necessarily true, but that provide food for thought and can make interesting stories. That's what I aim to accomplish with this video. If you liked it, please leave a comment describing the strategy that you would use to escape the Backrooms. I would love to hear your guys' ideas. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. Until next time.